press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hello children, how are you? I hope that all are doing good. So today I am doing the lesson. The name of the lesson is the Great Stone Phase Second. Okay. So here we are going to discuss about part second of the lesson, the Great Stone Phase, which was written by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Okay. So you already had known about the writer introduction. Okay, Nathaniel Hawthorne. So here is the main character of this lesson is Ernest. Okay, so you know in part first we come to know about Ernest and his mother. They both were discussing together about the Great Stone Phase, and his mother also said that it's about an old prophecy. Okay, that a boy which belongs to this valley, which he was born in this place, means where Ernest is living and where the people could see the Great Stone Phase. So that person belongs to this valley, and he will become a man which resemble with the Great Stone Phase, and he will be coming in the future. And he has a great qualities, like he was a kind and humble, and he was a great noble person. Okay, so these thoughts which is growing along with the Ernest, okay, the boy. So when he was a very young boy, when he was listened the story of this Great Stone Phase, so among that, this Great Stone Phase, even this boy is also growing, and he not only is growing but also the thoughts is also growing in himself. Okay, the positive thoughts, which is kindness, love, care, okay, and then what called sympathy. Okay, so these are the good qualities. The boy is developing himself, and he's just waiting for the person which he wanted to see in that the quality. So what the quality he has heard from his mother, so that quality is he is admiring to that resemble with the Great Stone Phase. Okay, so I have told you that in the last class about the Great Stone Phase part first, that when he was looking at the Great Stone Phase, okay, so he not only looking that, he just admiring that Great Stone Phase is a teacher, and except that there is no teacher of this young boy, that is Ernest. So slowly the years are passed, and he is also grown up person. Okay, now in the last part first we had come to know about there are two people, they were arrived in this valley, the Mr. Gathergold and also Blood and Thunder. Okay, Blood and Thunder, he belongs to the army. Okay, he was on a good name in the army, and he was a commander in that, and he just wanted to live peacefully where he was born. And before that, Mr. Gathergold is also came to his valley where these two people were born, and at last he will also die, and there is no great thing about the Mr. Gathergold. And here boy had recognized that these two people, they are not resemble with the Great Stone Phase. Okay, so they are not resemble. This boy has identified, is it? But the people, they were screaming and they were shouting that here the man come, that is the Great Stone Phase. Okay, so when the general he was arrived in this valley. Okay, so this is the part first, and let's see about the today's class, that is a part second. Is Ernest is going to see that person where he was admiring that person, and he is always just looking forward. Okay, so he will come, so till he is alive, otherwise not. Let's see in this lesson. Okay, so before you read, many years passed. Okay, there are so many years passed. Then Ernest was now a man of middle age. So now Ernest has grown to a middle age. Now he is not a young boy, he is not a young man, he is a middle-aged man. Who? Ernest. Then to his neighbors, who never suspected that he was anything more than an ordinary and familiar face. To his neighbors, he is not a special person, okay, a special kind of a person. He is just living a normal life. He is an ordinary and familiar life. Okay, he is living like that, and there is no special quality about the Ernest. Who thinks that? neighbors, okay, neighbors of Ernest, they are thinking like this way, okay. Then he was only a humble and hardworking. For them, they were giving the advice to the Ernest, the character of this Ernest. He is about the hardworking, and also he is a humble person for our neighbors, okay, though thoughtful person. So actually he is a thoughtful person, he is a humble and hardworking person, okay. But neighbors, they could never identify the what special qualities that Ernest had, okay. Then, but what about the old prophecy? Was it ever fulfilled? Let us read and find out. So what about the old prophecy? So now Ernest has become old now. He was in a middle-aged man, okay. So he is becoming older. So is that old prophecy is going to be true? It is going to be happen in the future. So let's see in this today's class. The years hurried on and brought white hairs upon the head of Ernest, and made wrinkles across his forehead and furrows in his cheeks, okay. So here Ernest has grown into a older, okay, he was older. There are so many gray white hairs on his head, and there is a wrinkle on his head, and also there is a wrinkle on cheeks, okay. Ernest, okay, gray means white hairs on head, and also there is a wrinkles on his cheek. There is a furrows in his cheek. Furrows means it's a deep lines in his cheek, and there is a what called wrinkles on his forehead, okay. So he was an old man, but not in vain had he grown old, okay. Actually he become an old person, he become an old man, but actually he is not a old man. So what is vain mean here? Overly proud of one's appearance, okay. So although he was become old, but when he was appeared his face with the wrinkle and with the white hairs, but he never feel ashamed about his growing old. He feel very proud, okay. So day by day, when the days are passing, he feel proud about his thoughts, okay, and his nature. So like that, it was all the what called the thoughts and everything, it is reflected on his face, okay. So that is, and then more numerous that the white hairs on his head were the wise thoughts in, okay. So more numerous that the white hairs on his head were the wise thoughts in his mind. So here his mind, you know that his thoughts are not growing. Although he become older and growing, but his thoughts are never be a older one, okay. So here he says that the white hairs on his head were wise thoughts. So those white hairs we could see on Ernest's head. So it is not only the white hairs, it's about a wise thoughts. What do you mean by wise thoughts? The person who thinks very deeply, and he know he is a very smart by his thoughts, okay. So that is called wise thoughts. He is very deep thought, okay. And in his mind, and Ernest had ceased to be obscure, unsought for, undesired had come the fame which so many seek, okay. So Ernest had ceased means discontinue, to be the obscure, not well known, okay. So you know that the people in the valley, they were not well known about this person, but actually the people, they are coming to meet him because for his well thought and also his wise thoughts, okay, to meet and to get some extra knowledge, means the wise knowledge from this person. So in that valley, the people, they could never identify those qualities, but the people, they are far away from the city, from the valley. So they come and they meet, they are desired to meet to this person, okay. And here unsought means unseeking for, undesired had come the fame which so many seek, okay. So it actually the people here, they call him as a unseeking, okay. Unseeking means something the people, they were never seeked, okay. Those people are called unseeked here. For undesired, but some people, they are here, this Ernest is grateful, and he is very famous for the other people who are seeking knowledge, okay. So that he had become a famous beyond the limits of the valley. Actually he become a famous because his wisest thoughts, the people, they were they were ready to meet him, okay, for his wisest thoughts, and he is giving a lot of advices, and he become a famous beyond his limits. And then there are so many well-known people and also some of the college professors, and they were come and meet to Ernest, and they will get wisest thoughts from the Ernest, okay. And then even the active men of cities came from far to see and converse with Ernest. Not only college professor and not only the people who need wisest thoughts, even even the men who are living in the cities, so they are also ready to meet to Ernest, and they wanted to talk to Ernest, okay. So this is, and he received them with the gentle sincerity, okay. So whenever Ernest he could meet them, so he just meet with the sincerity. He just never be unfaithful, or never be he will never show disinterested on those people, and spoke freely with them of whatever came uppermost or lay deepest in his heart and or their own, okay. So he just spoke with the people, whatever the people they wanted to come, and they are ready to seek for something from this man, so those people are ready to meet him, okay. And he never gets they never showed any disinterested kind of a person, okay. So always he just advised, and he just giving a wisest thoughts and very deeply thoughts to the people who are in seek, okay. So this is, and while they talked together, his face would brighten unawares and shine upon them as with a mild evening light. When Ernest is talking with the people, okay, so then his face become a brighten. It becomes a glow in his face, on his face, and also unawares, he was unaware about the life, and then shine upon them as with the mild evening light. There is a shining on his face. So how it looks like how the evening view, when we see the evening view, when the sun is going to set, so like that it is a very brightened way, okay. So his face is very brightened, which is resembles with the evening light, okay. So while Ernest had been growing old, God had granted a new poet to this earth. So you know that in this valley, Ernest is growing old, but on the other side, there is another poet has born on this earth. So who is that poet? Let's see here. He too was a native of the valley. So that poet is also belongs to this valley where Ernest is living, but had spent the greater part of his life in distant cities. But that poet is living far away from the valley, so he is living in a city, okay, and he will never come to that valley. Pouring out his sweet music everywhere, neither was the great stone face forgotten, for the poet had celebrated it in a poem, okay. So that poet, he was he just enjoying his profession, okay, as a poet. He just filled his thoughts, filled his music in a songs, and also neither was the great stone face. He never forget that great stone face, okay, who? That poet. And also he just described in his poem about the great stone face. He never forget that. Who? That poem, that poet. Okay, so in upcoming story I will tell you who is that poet is, okay. Then the songs of this poet found their way to Ernest, okay. So those songs which was written by the poet, and it was found by the Ernest. So here he got the songs which was written by that poet who lived in this valley once upon a time. He read them after his customary toil. Who? Ernest is going to read those songs which was written by that poet, and after a customary toil, customary means is a usual work. After regular and usual work, when he was finished it, he used to read those poems, okay. Then seated on the bench before his cottage door. So when he was finished his usual work, he just sat on the bench near his cottage door, and there he used to read the poems which was written by the poet. As he read, he lifted his eyes to the mountain. So when he was reading those poems, he just lifted his eyes to the mountain. He just looking at the mountain, that is Great Stone Face. Oh, Great Stone Face, he said. Now when he was looked at the Great Stone Face, and he said like that, what? Oh, "Oh, great stone face," he said, "is not this man worthy to be your likeness?" So this man means the poet who has written, means the poem who has written, that poet is not a worthy to you, so he is not looking like you, because that a poet who has written those poems, so it is very he was attracted, he was fascinated, who Ernest is fascinated. So he is asking to the great stone face, is not that be a person who become who has a great value, who give a great value to you and to the life? Okay, so he's asked question to the great stone face. The face seemed smiled. The face seemed to smile but did not answer. When he asked the question to great stone face, the face, it looks like it was smiled at Ernest, but actually it is not. Okay, it did not answer. Now it happened that the poet, though he lived so far away, had not only heard of Ernest but had thought much about his character, wished to meet this man whose wisdom walked hand in hand with the noble simplicity of his life. Now what happened here after this? So the poet who has written the poem, so now he wanted to meet to Ernest. Okay, had not only heard of Ernest but had thought much about his character. So once this poet has heard about the Ernest and also his character, okay, who? That poet, and then he wished to meet this man whose wisdom walked hand in hand. So that poet has decided that he wanted to meet Ernest. Okay, so he just thought that that person is have a lot of wisdom in himself. He just wanted to meet that. Okay, meet that person, and with the noble simplicity of his life. So that person knows how to lead a life with the simplicity. So he just wanted to meet him. Who? The poet wanted to meet to the Ernest. One summer day, therefore, he arrived at Ernest's door, where he found the good old man holding a book in his hand. So once summer day, so that poet has visited to meet Ernest. Okay, so then Ernest was he was sitting at the door and he was reading. He was holding a book and he was reading, which he read, and then with a finger between the leaves looked lovingly at the great stone face. So then he was looked. So that Ernest, he was sitting at the near to the cottage. So he just looking at the great stone face and he was holding a book in his hand. So that sight was very attracted to that poet. "Good evening," said the poet. So now poet said that, "Good evening. Can you give your traveler a night shelter?" So now he asked Ernest, like he is a traveler. He is a traveler. "Can you give me a place? Can you give me a place?" Means shelter means place to stay here tonight. So he asked. Okay, who asked? Poet asked to Ernest. "Gladly," answered Ernest. So gladly, he was very glad to help to this traveler. He was accepted. And then he added, smiling, "I think I never saw the great stone face look so hospitably at the stranger." So then person means the poet, he was said like that. I think I never saw. I think means he has never saw the person, the great stone face look a hospitably. Hospitably means it's a kindly or gently. Okay, so great stone face which look like a so gently and so kindly. So when the stranger was looked at the great stone face. Okay, stranger means a poet. Then poet sat down beside him. So while he was discussed about the great stone face, the poet is also sat beside the Ernest, and he and Ernest talked together. So both of them, they were talked together. Never before had the poet talked with man like a Ernest. So poet who has meet to the Ernest, so when he was talking with him, he just feel it that he has never seen a person like Ernest. Okay, so it is very nice to talking with Ernest. So wise and gentle and kind. So the poet is saying to that to the Ernest. So this person is very kind, gentle, and also very wisest man. Okay, so wisest thoughts he had. Ernest, on the other hand, was moved by the living images flung out of his poet's mind. So Ernest on the other hand, so Ernest, he just holding something in the other hand, was moved by the living images, okay, flung out of the poet's mind. So whatever he just thinking, so now the poet is also understood that in what way Ernest is also thinking. Now, as Ernest listened to the poet, he imagined that the great stone face was bending forward to listen to. So now, this Ernest was recognized the face of the poet, and suddenly he could imagine that the face of this poet is resembled with the great stone face. Okay, he just imagined and he just bent little forward to listen to. He gazed into the poet's eyes, so that person. Means Ernest, he was looking deeply, looking at the that poet's eyes. Okay, so then, who are you, my gifted guest? He asked. So now Ernest don't know that he is a poet. Okay, so now he is a guest to Ernest. But later he just asked question to the to this poet. Who is that? Who are you, my gifted guest? He said. Who said this? Ernest. Okay. Then the poet laid his finger on the book that Ernest had been reading. So, Ernest, where he was sitting at the door, he just holding a book in his hand. Okay, so he is reading a poems of this poet. So now, so that person who has come to meet, that is a poet. So whose book is reading by the Ernest. So he shown that. So this is I am. Okay, he kept a finger on his book, on that book, and he shown that this is I am. Okay. Then the poet laid his finger on the book that Ernest had been reading. You have read these poems, said he. You know me, then, for I wrote them. So now he just put his finger on the book and he said this. So the poet said like this, you have read these poems. So you have read these poems, said he, and you know me, then for I wrote them. You know me very well through this poem. So that's why I am writing for you. Okay. So then, again and again Ernest examined the poet's features. He turned towards the great stone face, then back. He shook his head and sighed. So now Ernest got confused, okay, because this man face, the poet face is resembled with the great stone face. So again and again he was turning into the, he wanted to look into the great stone face. And he just examining means he just observing very deeply the face of this poet and the face of the great stone face, okay. Then he turned towards the great stone face, then back. He shook his head and sighed. And suddenly he shook his head and he looked very continuously. Then, why are you sad? Inquired the poet. So when he was gazing at the poet and also great stone face, so his face was in a sad. He felt very sad. Who? Ernest. So now poet asked this question to Ernest. So why are you sad? Because, replied Ernest. So he replied. So who replied? Ernest replies, because all through life I have awaited the fulfillment of a prophecy, and when I read these poems, I hope that it might be fulfilled in you. Okay. So all throughout his life means when he was a young boy, from then to till now, he just waiting to see the person who is resembled with the great stone face. Okay, he's just waiting to see that this is the old prophecy. Okay, and when he was read all the poems which was written by this person, that poet, and he just he hoped that he is the person which he was written the poem, which his face is resembled with that great stone face. So now what happened? You hoped, answered the poet. Yes, you should hoped it. Faintly smiling, to find in me like the likeness of the great stone face, I am not worthy to be its likeness. So you hope like this. So now poet asked this question. You are hope that this is, when you read this poem, you just thought that this is me. Me means the great stone face which is resembles, it's my face, is it? But actually not, because my face is not resemble with the great stone face. I am not look like a great stone because I don't have that qualities of a kindness, a wisdom, okay, and those things what great stone face has. Okay, he said it. I am not worthy like the great stone face. Who said this? Poet said this. And why not? Asked the Ernest. So why not you don't have those qualities what the great stone face had? He pointed to the book, are not those thoughts worthy? So then again the poet has pointed towards the book what Ernest has holding, and he said like this. So what he said, are not those thoughts worthy? So those thoughts what I have written in this book, which is in the form of poem, so these thoughts are not worthy, okay, it's not valuable, okay. Why he said like this? Let's see. You can hear in them the distant voice of a heavenly song. So I think you have heard that there are some of the songs which is made with the heavenly made up of a song, okay, but my life, dear Ernest, has not corresponded with my thoughts. Actually, when you read these poems, you have thought that those poems are very, it's kind of a heavenly poem, is it? But actually, my life is not like a poem, okay. So what the thoughts I have written in this poem, so my life is not like that, okay. It is totally corresponded, it is totally opposite to that poems, okay. My thoughts are not matched with those thoughts which I have written in this poem. I have had a grand dreams, but they have been only dreams. Actually, I had a grand dreams. Grand means he had a very big dream, but actually the dreams are become only the dreams. It doesn't come in a reality. So he was worried. That poet is also, the poet is worried about that. Then sometimes I lack faith in my own thoughts. Because of that, because my dreams were never fulfilled, so that's why he just doubting on his own thoughts, okay. So he just lacked the confidence on his own thoughts. Why then, pure seeker of the good and the true, should you hope to find me in the face of the mountain? So why you are the thoughts of pure and the thoughts of good you are finding in me? So the thoughts which is very pure like a great stone face, so how you find out in me? So he asked. Now the poet spoke sadly and his eyes were wet with tears, so too were those of Ernest, okay. So when he said his life story, his eyes were filled with tears. Whose poet eyes were filled with tears, and even Ernest is also crying, okay. At the hour of sunset, as had long been his custom, Ernest was to speak to a group of neighbors in the open air, okay. So custom means habit. So after an hour passed, so now the sun is set, so his daily it's a habit of to talk with his neighbors, okay, the group of neighbors in the open air. Then together he and the poet went to meet the place arm in arm. So together means the poet and also Ernest, they both went together, and they wanted to meet with the neighbors. From there could be seen the great stone face. So where they were visit the place, so now they can easily see the great stone face. Then Ernest threw a look of familiar kindness around upon his audience, okay. So when he was looked into the audience, there is a familiar face he could see. He began to speak to the people what was in his heart and mind. So suddenly he started speaking with the people what he was thinking and what the feelings in his heart. He was just sharing with the people. Then his words had power because they agreed with his thoughts. So whatever he was saying to the people, so that words were filled with power, okay. So there are great power it is, because so whatever the people they are agreeing, there is a thought. So those words, it is a thoughtful words. It is not like simply they said and they were impractical. Actually, whatever the words he is saying, it is actually thoughtful, okay, and the people is also agreeing. And his thoughts had reality and depth because they harmonized with the life which had always lived. So those words, those thoughts are a reality, okay. So whatever the Ernest is saying to the public, to the people, it's actually reality. It is not a fake, it is not a unreal, okay, and it is very deeply, those thoughts are very deep because they harmonized with the life which had always lived. Because he lived very harmoniously. He lived harmonious means very peacefully. He lived his life very peacefully without any desire, without any negative thoughts. He lived very peaceful life. So that's why his thoughts are powerful. Okay, so this is, and then it was not mere breath that the preacher uttered, they were words of life. So preacher here, now the Ernest become a preacher. You know, preacher whom we call one who teaches the life lessons. So those are called a preacher. So now Ernest become a preacher, okay, here, and whatever he was preaching to the people, so those are a life, the words are a life. There is a life in those words, okay. It is not like a lifeless words, there is a life, there is a power in those words, what Ernest is saying. A life of good deeds, selfless love was melted into them. So what is the life? The life which are good deeds. Good deeds means the deeds which we are doing good things to the people, to the poor people, the people who are in need. Okay, so that is called as a good deeds. So whatever the things we do in our life, okay, good things. Okay, so like service to the people, okay, and we are helping to the people who are in need. Okay, then we are not. We just care about the all the neighbors and our community for our country. So those are called good deeds. Okay, and then selfless love was melted into them. Selfless love. We should have to love each other. You know, there are so many hatredness we will see in our societies. So one community is hating to the other community, one religion is hating to the other religion. So they are never respected to the other religion, other caste and other things, is it? So we are just hating, we just develop hatredness in ourselves. But Ernest has developed the selfless love. Okay, he is not loving to himself, he just loved to the other people. Okay, so whoever they are, he just loved it. Okay, then and he has never kept a hatredness in his heart. So here it is. The poet, as he listened, felt that the life and character of Ernest was a nobler strain of poetry than he had ever written. So even the poet, when he listened the words of Ernest, even the poet is also felt that. So whatever the thoughts he has never written in his poem, so now he just gained those thoughts by the Ernest. Okay, so that is, it's a noble thoughts. His eyes filled with tears, and he said to himself that never was there so worthy a sage as that mild. Whose eyes were filled with tears? Again, poets. Poets' eyes were filled with tears, and he's just thinking that he could never had seen that the person like a sage. Okay, sage means wise person. Okay, then wise person as the mild. The person is like, this wise person is very mild, very soft to speak and sweet. When he speak, his words are very sweet. Thoughtful face. His face is like a thoughtful. Always he's just thinking about something. Okay, in a positive way, not negative thoughts. It's a positive thoughts. So those are thoughts are reflecting on his face, with the glory of white hair diffused about it. So that white hairs which is growing on his head, so it is glowing. It is called as a glory. Okay, it is a glory of such thoughts. Okay, it is not only the grey hairs. It is like a glory. It is like a glory. It has reached its destination. Whose destination? That Ernest's destination. Okay, that is called a goal. You may call as a goal. He has reached his goal. Then at a distance but clearly to be seen, high up in the golden light of the setting sun, appeared the great stone face with the white mists around it, like the white hairs around the brow of Ernest. Okay, like see here, what happened here? At a distance, here little far away distance, when but clear to be seen. It's a very clearly looking all of the people, and even the poet is also high up in the golden light. High up means it's a when the sun is going to set, so there is a golden color you can see in the evening time, is it? So that light is reflecting on that mountain, and setting sun appeared the great stone face. So that golden light, it was appeared on the great stone face. Okay, then with white mists around it, there is a white mist. Mist means there is something which is a white which was covered, then like the white hairs. So that white mist, it is covered like it is a white hairs. So where it is on the great stone face, on the mountain. Okay, then around the brow of Ernest, So and also that white hairs means the mist which is covered on the great stone face, it looks like it resembles like a earnest brow. Okay, brow, like a eyebrows, which is in a white. At that moment, Ernest's face took on an expression so grand that the poet was moved to throw his arms up and shout. Okay, so at that exact moment, even the Ernest has given the kind of expression, so it could equally he just resemble with that great stone face. Okay, so that is the grand expression he has given when he was preaching. Then the poet was moved, throw his arms up and shout. So suddenly he just moved. That poet has moved and he just shouted, "Behold, behold, Ernest is himself the likeness of the great stone face." So he just shouted, "Behold, just hold on, just hold on." So Ernest is only looking like a great stone face. Okay, so he just said, he himself, Ernest himself is only looking like a great stone face. He just shouting. Then all the people looked. Suddenly when that poet was screamed, he was shouted with those words, suddenly every people they were looked into the Ernest and saw that what the poet said was true. So actually when they looked into the great stone face and also the Ernest, so they are believed that, so what the poet is saying, it is a true, it is not unreal, it is not a fake. The prophecy was fulfilled. Actually, that prophecy which was said by the ancestors, it was true. It was completed. Okay. Then, but Ernest having finished what he had to say. So Ernest is also finished what he wanted to say to the people. Took the poet's arm and walked slowly homeward, still hoping that some wiser and better man than himself would by and by appear, bearing a resemblance to the great stone face. So he just neglected the words of the people and also the poet, okay, who Ernest. He just hold the hand of a poet and he would just walk on his hometown, his just home side, and then he just hoping that still the man he will come, even better than him and more wisest than him. He will come in the future. So still he is hoping that the man he would come in the future, okay. So who is this belief? Ernest, still there is a belief that the man is better than the Ernest and more wisest than himself, so he would come in the future. So he is believing still, okay. And then and that face is resembled with that person but not him. So he is not believing that he is only the Ernest, he is only that Ernest which his face is resembled with the great stone face, okay. Actually it is true, but he is not believing. Okay, he just not believing because he just wanted to meet that person where he filled his thoughts with a good and very wisest thoughts, with a very kind, with the sympathized, with the love and care thoughts which he has developed, the feelings to the people which he has developed. So he just not seen himself, he just wanted to look at other people, is it? He has not realized that what the characters he had. He just wanted to look at the other people. He just waiting for that person which he could, the face is resembled with that great stone face, and not only the face, even the characters also, the characters of kind, sympathy, everything. He just wanted to look better than himself and wisest than himself. He just wanted to see. So this is about the story of great stone face part second, okay. So you know that how the story begins and how it is an end. Actually here we learned the lesson that, so when Ernest, when he was very young boy, what mother has said the story, it was inspired, it was motivated, okay, and his thoughts and his feelings are filled with that story. So he just related himself to that story, and unknowingly he just developed those thoughts and those feelings and good thoughts also, okay. So unknowingly he just developed himself that all good thoughts, okay. So actually what we just listen those stories in our early life, actually we just never forget it in our life, and we also develop those characters. You can also see that even if you see some movies and pictures, is it movies, you can always just admire a heroine or a heroes, is it? So you will just see the characters of the heroines and also heroes, is it? And you will also feel that I am a hero like that. I'm like that kind of a heroine, is it? You just love something about that character. You just love something about that movie. So you never forget it. Okay, and you know, throughout our life, we just wanted to become like that way, become like that character. We just wanted, even you admire any cricketer, if you or admire your parents, okay, your sisters, your brothers, whoever will touch to your heart. So you just admiring and you just develop with your own thoughts, not only other thoughts, with your own thoughts that you wanted to become like that, is it? Unknowingly, you just resembles. In the same thing happened to the Ernest. Okay, he just waiting to see the person where the man which was filled with those characters, the character which he had heard from his mother, is it? That is kindness, sympathy, great person, noble person, okay, and caring person. All those thoughts which is filled himself, okay, and it was developed himself. So this is about the story. I hope that you all are understood this, okay. And so you also understand what are the good characters, what are the bad characters, and the good qualities. So what it leads to good characters, and how what is leads to bad characters. It means positive and negative. Take as a positive and negative characters. If you inspired one single character in yourself, even if you wanted to be if you are developed a negative characters, so your personality is also resembles with those things, okay. So you will also looking like the negative character, okay. You are, no one is look like you are a positive thoughts. You are having a positive thoughts. Always they just see in you that you are only you are having a negative thoughts. So it's better to keep in yourself and develop a good characters and positive thoughts, okay. That leads a person lead a good life, okay, good life, and you will also become a something in your life, okay, something which the people could appreciate you, okay, appreciate, and they praise you and they respect you people, is it? So this is the story, and you can also try to write something about your stories when you are heard, when you are a very young girl or a young boy. So write out those memories when you are heard stories from your grandparents or from your mother and from your father, is it? So, and if you admire any person, you just write down those names, okay, and you just go through on their life. So how they at that moment, that person where they were standing, okay, they were got a lot of fame and wealth, and they have the people are liked too much. Why? So what the work they had did, and what are the good qualities that people could identify that person as a good person, is it? So not only the actors and actresses, so it's about any person, okay. The person who had a good qualities, who have a positive thoughts, so that person is a heroes, okay. You know, our freedom fighters, they are also the heroes, is it? Not only those of movies heroes, okay, and you will also become a heroes to your life with the good thoughts and positive thoughts, okay. So you just keep all the good thoughts and positive thoughts in yourself and develop those thoughts only, okay. So this is about the today's class. I hope that you all are understood this lesson, that Great Stone phase first and Great Stone phase second, okay. We will meet you in the next class, okay. All of you stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Thank you.